Hi, I'm Alyssa, and for my individual project, I decided to study the impact of book publishing on the environment. As an English major, I myself adore literature and have a collection of books all over my room, and I've even considered working for a publishing company as a future career, surrounding myself with books and authors alike. However, in today's age of increasing awareness on the state of the environment and the effect humans have on the planet, I couldn't help but wonder how much the publishing industry could be impacting the world around us. I try my best to be aware of the state of things and be ethical in my actions, so the question of what the books I so loved were costing the planet wouldn't leave me alone. What are the consequences of every printed page? How many trees are sacrificed to fill up each bookstore, each Barnes and Noble? What has the paper industry done to help or worsen the fragile state of our planet? What part does ink play in all of this? I dedicated my project to answering these questions and more. Book publishing is a very present factor of life, especially for college students. It's both a necessity and a want, but we are living in the age of eco-awareness, and we can no longer turn a blind eye to the environmental impact of things we engage in our daily life. It brings up the question, is publishing sustainable? At times, it's easy to forget how much goes into the book you hold in the palm of your hand, how much time and effort goes into creating it, both from the publishers and manufacturers, as well as parts of the environment, as well as the parts of the environment being used to produce literature. Think about all the parts of a book, the ink, the different fonts involved, the pages, the front and back covers, the illustrations. It's an amalgamation of pieces that work together to form a single piece of prose and then get multiplied by 1,000 for each publication. Publishing industry was first introduced through Johannes Gutenberg's printing press in Germany during 1440. The ability to distribute widespread information so quickly completely altered the world and the way it ran. However, as the publishing industry grew, so did its carbon footprint. Printing books requires the use of Earth's natural resources, such as wood pulp, water, metals, agricultural products, and fossil fuels. Wood pulp is needed for paper, book covers, and packagings, and water is involved in the process of all of this and basically every other process involved. Agricultural products are used for vegetable-based inks, while metals are required for printing plates and foil stamping. And finally, fossil fuels are considered essential for most mill and printing processes and for transportation of products. As one can assume, the use of these resources doesn't come without a cost. The processes that go into publishing have been shown to cause deforestation and forest degradation, greenhouse gas emissions, and biodiversity loss. It can also cause the contamination of water and/or soil, and the greenhouse gas emissions have directly led to an increase in the heat of the Earth's atmosphere, worsening climate change. It can take up to 13 liters of water to create a single sheet of paper, and to make 1 ton of paper, 27,000 liters of water are used, 27 kilograms of carbon dioxide are released, and more than 4 kilowatts of energy are used. Unfortunately, it can be said that print publishing has a severe impact on nature. When it comes to pulp and paper, book publishing is the third largest industrial greenhouse gas emitter. For the US alone, the publishing industry uses around 32 million trees in order to produce books each year. Around 10 million trees are killed for the production of books, eventually ending up destroyed and unread, as each year consumers waste more than 16,000 truckloads of books which have not been read once. It's also been shown that the trees that remain are not left untouched, often becoming damaged in the process due to disruption of the forest and the equipment used. Pulp and paper industries harm ecosystems that were otherwise thriving before the invasion. Globally, the book and print production process itself releases more than 40 million metric tons of CO2, a truly terrifying number. While the information and statistics I've provided are disheartening, I want to state that publishing doesn't have to be detrimentally terrible to the environment. There is a way to continue publishing while being more conscious about the environment and having less of a negative impact on the planet. Books provide so much to and for society, and print publishing has opened so many doors that it's heartbreaking to think of a world without them, but we don't necessarily have to. This is where eco-publishing comes in. Eco-publishing came about in 2008 and includes following sustainability principles while producing books, respecting the environment while still providing literature. Eco-publishing has the potential to completely change the relationship between the environment and print publishing, and has already begun to start turning things around. In the mid 2000s, the publishing industry reflected on the environmental impact it was creating. As I stated, book publishing has been designated as the third largest industrial greenhouse emitter when it comes to pulp and paper, which is problematic because 40% of solid waste in landfills is paper. Due to these statistics, many publishing houses decided to try to turn a new leaf using more sustainable practices. Going green in publishing can be done in many different ways: recycling, sustainability, digital publishing, and more. Companies like FSC are trying to do their part to both inform people of the environmental impact and make their production environmentally friendly, as seen in this video.
So, every day, loads and loads of forests all over the world are being chopped down. And 80% of all animals and 1 billion people depend on those forests. But hey, that's not our problem, is it? Well, if we continue like this, there won't be any forests left. And without those forests, we don't have clean air, and we'll run out of timber. To prevent this, FSC was established. FSC is the label for responsible wood and paper. This is how it works. It starts in the forest. We make sure that the lumberjacks work in safe conditions, and all forest dwellers are respected. Next, the harvest. We divide the FSC forest into parts, and every year we harvest a couple of trees in a different part. Afterwards, we leave that part alone for 30 years, so the forest can recover. And we can harvest again, of course. We track the FSC wood from the sawmill to the store. An independent certifier checks this, so you can be sure the wood is really FSC wood. This way, we make sure the forests will exist forever, and that we will always have wood and paper to buy and use. So choose for more FSC forests. Buy FSC wood. So, every day,
There's many different ways to incorporate environmentally friendly practices into publishing, such as with Oxford University's Press, who have set 3 sustainability targets to be done by 2025. Carbon neutrality from operations, 100% certified sustainable paper, and zero waste to landfill. This reduces energy usage, greenhouse gases, and waste, and lessens their carbon footprint. Penguin Random House has 80% of its infrastructure sourced by green electricity, and from 2018 to 2019, the company saved 14,200 tons of CO2, dropping worldwide emissions by 49%. Pearson Education aims to have 10% of its paper products certified by 2025, and their paper and book printing made up 10.7% of Pearson's CO2 emissions in 2021, a drop of 10.3% since 2018. Pearson is also undergoing a digital transformation, which has already made a contribution to lowering emissions. As I stated, Pearson is undergoing a digital transformation to help with its environmental impact, and it's integral to talk about digital publishing when discussing eco-publishing. With the creation of the internet, electronic devices, and online reading platforms, it gave birth to the concept of eco-publishing, book publishing through online methods that cuts out the production of print publishing. Almost 10% of what society currently reads is digital, and nearly 100% of paper publications are now produced using electronic equipment. Digital publishing is often seen as a solution to fixing the harm publishing can have on the environment, but the reality is that it's not as faultless as most might think, and it brings its own demons to fight. In a quote from CCC Lab, it stated that, according to the report Click Clean published by Greenpeace, in 2017, around 7% of total global energy consumption resulted from digital capitalism. If the internet were a country, it would be the 6th biggest polluter. And if we add all the emissions generated by the electronic devices we need to browse the web, it is by far the industry that generates most emissions. Online reading platforms and the devices to access them are made up of components that also take from the Earth's natural resources. The batteries used to power devices can contain coltan, lithium, or other elements. Printed circuit boards contain copper and gold, cadmium, tin, lead, palladium, and tantalum. The processes that go into e-reading require their own costs to both society and the environment. For example, concerning an e-reader, for it to be sustainable, 322 books would need to be read, each being 110 pages. CCC Lab also offered more information on the statistics of how an e-reader versus print, or an e-reader against print publishing as far as their effects. The impact of a Kindle is 168 kilograms of CO2, equivalent to 22.5 paperback books in the US. To offset the impact of an e-reader device in Sweden, the owner needs to read 33 ebooks of 360 pages each. It takes 15 years to offset the carbon footprint of an e-reader device. And finally, between the iPhone 4 of 2010 and iPhone X of 2017, the carbon footprint has grown by 75%. Overall, an e-reader isn't the end-all be-all to eco-publishing, and in fact, if it intends to be a better source of reading than books concerning the environment, it needs to undergo its own round of going green. In conclusion, there is a lot to be done in the book publishing industry concerning its impact on the environment, but the bright side is there is a lot that can be done. It's not a lost cause, and printed literature and prose doesn't have to be eradicated to better the issue. Steps can be taken to improve and to expand eco publishing, and there's hope for both print publishing and the planet to heal. That's all I have. Thank you.